Quazi here. In today's video, I want to share with you the fundamental thing that allows you to really make a permanent change in your life. And this inevitably has to do with your subconscious mind. In today's video, I want to share with you something I've been thinking about for a very long time. And this really is, how can we boil down reality creation to its most simplest form? And in today's video, I'm going to share with you exactly how you can use your subconscious mind and why the subconscious mind plays such a massive role in allowing you to do that. So please stick around to the very end of this video, because this is going to be absolutely crucial for you if you're someone who's been struggling to manifest what you want, to create any sort of permanent, long-lasting change in your life. So let's go right ahead and get started. Real quick before I get started, I want to announce you can join our exclusive email list and access bonuses that I can't really share on the channel because of the platform's limitations. To access the exclusive email list, go and click on the link in the pinned comments down below. You'll be taken to a page where you can put your first name and your email, and you'll get access to this list. So let's go right ahead and get started with the subconscious mind and how you can use it to create anything that you want. What you've got to understand is that most people, when we live our day-to-day lives, we're not very, very conscious or aware of the thoughts that we're entertaining, okay? Most not aware. What do I mean by that? When you're not conscious about the kind of thoughts that you entertain, this is basically what happens. You begin gossiping about things, which, I've been thinking about gossip for a very long time. If everyone was just hunky-dory, there would be no form of connection, but that's a different level of vibration, right? So some sort of gossip is needed. It allows humans to bond together, but it's when this gossip becomes destructive, like you can't live without it. This gossip, and what I mean by destructive gossip is like you talk shit about other people all the time and you're constantly putting someone else down, and that kind of reflects on you. It makes you operate from that vibration, from the lowered vibration of hatred, jealousy, vengeance. We won't get into that. So most aren't aware of the conscious gossip or the thoughts that they're really entertaining. Now, to give you another example of that, what we do and what I did in my whole life was constantly putting myself down. And it was easier to put myself down than talk big about myself, right? So a lot of people are into self-deprecating humor. And while that's all great, you've got to be very, very mindful of the conversations that you have about yourself and even with yourself. To give you a concrete example of that, I would always tell myself, there's no way I could start a successful business. I'm just not capable of that. I wasn't built for it. There's no way I could do that. I'm not athletic enough. I even find myself doing that now, just as a form of self-deprecating humor. Like, I'm not athletic enough to lift that, or I'm not athletic enough to run that time, or I'm not smart enough to figure that out. All of these conversations that we have with ourselves, it gets stored in our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind is operating all the time. It never sleeps, right? The conscious mind shuts off, turns on, shuts off when you're asleep, turns on when you're awake. But the subconscious mind, your heart is always beating, because if your heart stopped for a moment, you'd be dead. So we've got to be very, very mindful, very, very conscious of all of these conversations that we have. And that doesn't mean you just live 24/7, just awake, like hyper alert, like, oh, don't say this, don't say that. It just means having just a little bit of awareness and just realizing, wait a second, that thing that I just said, it's not necessarily true. I'm saying it to have some dramatic effect. I just wanted to create some humor or whatever. I felt comfortable staying stuck my whole life because I told myself, if I didn't go in the pursuit of money and business, I couldn't fail. And if I couldn't fail, I would never be hurt. Right? It's like that person who's afraid to get into relationships because they're afraid of being hurt. If you never allow yourself to experience it, you're blocking yourself off from life, right? So that's what I was doing for a very long time. When I was younger, if someone could guarantee give me success and I could avoid failure, I knew I would do it. But it's the fear of failure that prevented me from going out there and doing it in the first place. So for a very long time, I was thinking about starting up a YouTube channel and starting up a business, but I just didn't want to embarrass myself. I didn't want to fail, okay? And I told myself all of these stories such as, it's noble to be poor. You should just stay stuck and just be poor your whole life and it'll be fine. You can just be at this mediocre level and just coast your whole life with this more than enough income that you're getting from your 9 to 5. And that's a story I told myself. When in reality, I wanted to experience much more, and I was sick and tired of experiencing mediocrity. Maybe you can relate. That's basically the story I told myself. But then when I started to study all of these things, I realized that I was wreaking havoc on my subconscious mind. It's like a diet that you have, but you keep eating shitty foods like fast food all the time by feeding yourself all of this junk. So what I want you to understand from this point forward is we have two different viewpoints. We have what I call the self view, and we also have what I like to call your world view. What do I mean by that? Your self view is largely your self image or your identity. In our reality mastery program, we go really deep into working at the identity level, because I've found in my life, whenever I've changed from the identity level, I started to look at myself as someone different. I became a completely different person. I started to experience a permanent change in that area of my life. My world, my external world changed. Similar with the worldview. The worldview is how you perceive the world around you, the external world around you. To give you an example of this, when I was telling myself that I wasn't capable of starting up a business, my self-view was Quazi is not capable. This character does not have the capabilities. Subconsciously, my self-view became that. And my worldview became 99% of businesses fail. So there is no way, with these viewpoints, there is no way I would have succeeded. Please think about it this way. If you're looking for something, let's say you go into the mailroom or something of your apartment and you're looking for a package and you're not certain whether or not that package is there. You kind of look, but you look half-heartedly because you're not even sure if the package is there in the first place. But then all of a sudden you check your phone and you've gotten the notification that the package has been delivered to the mailroom, right? You know for a fact that the package is in this room. So now your search, the pursuit that you have, takes on a different level of resolve. You have a different level of intensity because now your assumption is it's already here. I just need to find it. Do you see the difference? When we operate from a place of uncertainty and zero resolve, we never become successful. When we assume that I am capable, and we assume there's 1% of businesses that become successful, then I can be that 1%. I can be that person who becomes successful with a business, right? So that's ultimately the change that I had to make in my identity and my worldview in order to become successful, in order to come here today. What happens? These two views have three different levels. Okay, let's talk about that because this is going to be super, super crucial for you to know. At the lowest level, we begin with that of a thought. Everything begins with an opinion. You know, someone has the opinion that businesses are hard, man. It's hard to get an A in this class. It's hard to get a promotion increase. It's hard to make more money during the inflation. It's hard to grow your business during the inflation. It's just a thought. You don't have to entertain it. But for some reason you do. Because guess what? We feel something when we gossip, right? We feel some emotion. We feel a feeling. And we, as human beings, we are feeling-loving creatures. We're emotion-loving creatures. So when we feel something and we entertain a thought with an emotion, it evolves to the level of belief because now it's stuck with us for long enough. It becomes a belief. So now this thought of, I'm not good enough to start up a business. Maybe I'm not skilled enough to start up a business. Maybe it's not the right time to start up a business. Becomes a belief. It's not the right time to start up a business. I'm not good enough to start up a business. How many times has that happened to you when you've said that to yourself? You could still become aware of it. You still had some level of awareness. Now with even more emotion and more confirmation around you, because guess what? Whatever we assume, we find. If we assume that it's not the right time to start up a business, reality starts to show us proof of why it's not the right time to start up a business, why you're not good enough to start up a business. Oh, I failed at this other endeavor, so therefore I'm not good enough to start up a business. Oh, look, another thing happened with society, and like gas prices went up. Not a good time to start up a business. All sorts of silly beliefs that we start to entertain and we get more proof until, guess what? It evolves to the level of conviction. Now this is something we will never, ever question. This is the final level until you put the nail in the coffin. When you have convictions, you never think to question them. You never even become aware of them because you operate from them. It's like the identity. When we have a very strong, strengthened sense of identity. We operate from that identity. When you are holding a t-shirt, you can feel a distinct separateness between you and that t-shirt. When you wear the t-shirt, it becomes one with you. There is no separation between your body and the t-shirt. That's why all of these spiritual gurus talk about gaining a distance from you and the body, right? They talk about having mind-body separation, all sorts of stuff like that. Because what they mean by that is when you become identified with the body, you start to suffer with the body. When there's pain in the body, you suffer. There's nothing beyond that. You're only the body. You're limited by the constraints of the boundaries of your body and your skin. There's nothing more you know. You only know pain and you know pleasure. There's nothing beyond that you know. That's why they always talk about meditating and getting to that point where you're detached or unattached to the body and the mind. This is what's happening to us. We become convinced of these ideas that we initially entertain, the thoughts, and then we begin to operate from that place. I want to share with you how you can reverse this cycle and use this for yourself to literally create anything that you want. And this is how I did it for myself. Key number 1, gain awareness. And this sounds like such a simple thing to do, but it's really the hardest thing to do. Because remember, we never gain awareness on the convictions that we have. But if you begin to just get into a mode of observation, the greatest quality you can develop in this reality creation journey to become a master of your destiny is just becoming more self-aware, more environmentally aware, more observant, more watching than reacting, okay? So just learn to watch all of these little things and observe them. This is 80% of the work done. If you just do that, 80% of the work will be done because it all rises in awareness and it dissolves in awareness. So we just have to be able to look and see it. You don't have to do anything about it. You can notice all of these conversations that you're having. You can notice the gossip that you're having, just like I can notice them right now. I notice there is speaking, there is environment, there is watching. This is all being observed. When I do that, I'm gaining awareness. Whatever I gain awareness of, I am not identified with. I'm going to say that one more time. Whatever I gain awareness of, I am not identified with. So awareness is literally the process of disidentifying. If I can be aware that I'm wearing a t-shirt right now, I'm not identified with the t-shirt. If I can be aware of the inner conversations I'm having right now, if I can watch them, if I can look at them, I'm not identified with them. I now effectively have a separation from them. Do you see how this is working? This is very, very powerful. So over the next few days, just become aware of all of the conversations that you have with yourself, all of the beliefs you hold to be true, all of the things that you're saying. Your convictions will become clearer as you get clearer on the thoughts and the ideas that you entertain and the things that you're even saying, because those are outcomes of that conviction, okay? So just having awareness and just watching it for now is more than enough. And in this awareness, the solution will also come to you. That's the powerful part. Number 2, choose new thoughts or ideas and look for confirmations. What do I mean by that? This is something I talk about extensively throughout this channel. When I choose a thought or an idea consciously, for example, let's say you struggle with confidence issues. Let's say you get on sales calls with your prospects and you find a way to fluff it up and lose the sale. Well, now you're probably viewing yourself as someone who messes sales up. You view yourself as a bad salesman. That has become your identity. And maybe your worldview has become, my niche doesn't work. I can't sell in this niche and I can't sell this product because it's the niche. The niche is doomed. It's a way of deflecting the blame from myself, right? But still blame regardless. It's still a view. It's still an idea. So what if we chose a new thought instead? Hey, this niche does work. I just haven't found out yet how to make it work. But it does work. Worldview solved. I can sell in this. I just need more time and experience to sell it. New thought, new idea, something we can accept, a middle ground we can accept. Now, we want to look for confirmations of, hey, where's proof that this niche does work? Oh, look, this person's doing it. So find other people with similar niches and you'll find many. This person's doing it, that person's done it, it can work. Or in terms of self-view, I've done it in the past, so I can do it. I've sold someone in the past. I've made a sale before. If I can sell once, I can sell again. Or someone else has done it. This person's done it. How did they do it? If they can do it, I can do it too. Let me learn from them, right? This is why it's so powerful hanging out with like-minded people being in masterminds. Because you look at other people doing it, like, wait, this person has flesh, blood, sweats like me, and they're a human being. If they can do it, why can't I? And then you hear about their stories and where they were day one. If they can do it, why can't I? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Look for confirmations consciously of where it is working, where anything that aligns with the desired thought or idea that you have. And that will completely change the game for you. You will go from the level of thought to conviction so quick that it will be completely unbelievable. My thoughts and my beliefs and how I viewed myself 2-3 years ago, it seems like a completely different lifetime. When I look at my videos from a year ago, it seems like a completely different lifetime. When you have such a shift in your identity, it can happen very, very quickly. And when it does, the past seems like a lifetime ago. You can't even recognize it. Like all the thoughts and feelings that you're having at that time, it would just seem so silly. And that's how you know you're growing. By the way, I go in extreme detail about this, the confirmation, the thought, and how it evolves to the level of conviction, how you can do it in the video called the self-reprogramming cycle and how I reprogram my subconscious mind. So I urge you to watch this video right now. Click right here to watch it. That is number 3. You must get familiar with the self-reprogramming cycle. And I can promise you, once you do, I think that video has gotten over 1 million hits on it, like almost 2 million. And every single person has had astounding comments about it. Go watch it right now because it's gonna be a big, big game changer for you. It's going to summarize everything that we talked about and actually expand more in detail about it. So go watch it right now and I'll see you in the next video right now. Thanks. Peace.